a cold, cruel world, cold and unpredictable, corrupt. There's only one thing we can count on: a whistleblower report. I'm Tanya McDaniel, and this is my documentary, The Documented Phone Calls. FCC.
Complaint with the FBI when you are a federal agency and you are specifically criminal complaint. Okay. What does your logo stand for? Federal Communications Commission. Okay. And we deal with the providers of the communication. Exactly. So, in other words, they violate FCC rules and regulations. And they have. So really, you would either need to work through your attorney or local law enforcement. Okay. So obviously, and it would be helpful for you to tell me exactly what you're going to do to help me, because I've already tagged you guys onto one of my lawsuits. That is 15-17354 at San Francisco 9th Circuit.
15-354, San Francisco 9th Circuit. 15-17354.
That is 15-17354 at San Francisco 9th Circuit. So, I'm going to refile that lawsuit. And I've already told you about Mark Klein versus the United States, AT&T, the NSA, and DirecTV. So you already have access, the different violations that take place from other people's lawsuits as well. So I'm asking again, thinking maybe you didn't hear me, what is it that your company is willing to do to get these broadcasting systems to comply with the Constitution? Ma'am, I've already explained to you what we can do. So at this point, that's as much as I can tell you. So I thank you for your call, and you have a good day.
He told me I should call the FBI. Make my complaint with the FBI. This is the FCC, Federal Communications Commission. They are responsible for the broadcasting systems and their violations. And obviously, when you are illegally spying on people and using your position as a media broadcaster or celebrity to go into the control areas of their broadcasting and push buttons that allow these broadcasting systems to spy on anybody that they want to spy on from their TV. And that is what Mark Klein versus NSA, DirecTV, ETL is about. Mark Klein was a worker at AT&T and DirecTV in San Francisco. And he told on the NSA going into a specific area in the DirecTV and AT&T building and messing with the wires to hook up a system that allows the government and broadcasting to spy on anybody and everybody in the United States. They are using various satellites, FCC satellites, Daystar satellites. They are using a myriad of satellites from NOAA, NOAA. It's a weathering media broadcasting system, along with other satellites with college towns like UC Davis that is very educated in using satellite systems and violating constitutional rights to privacy. That's Amendment 14.
That they, well, you have reports in there. The reports are in our system. So you're aware that they spy on people from the satellite? No, I'm not aware of any of it. You've never heard of Mark Klein versus AT&T direct? You know what? I don't, honestly, I put data into a computer. I don't follow all that, ma'am. Okay. Well, this is a really serious issue, and I'm not the only lawsuit that's been filed. All right. Well, definitely protect yourself. Contact your legal counsel, and then if you have any other information, you're going to file a different report. Call us back. Give us that information. We'll add to, add your report. Okay. May I have your name? Sure. My name is Robin, like the bird. Your name is Robin, like the bird. Yeah, Robin. Yep. Do you have a last name? No. I deal with identity theft. I don't deal with my last name, ma'am.
So this jackass from the FCC and FTC, he seems to think that it's not an issue, a spy breach. Oh, but go ahead and protect yourself and call your legal counsel, is what he says. He just puts data into a computer. But he works there for the federal government. You know, his job is to make sure that broadcasting violations do not occur. But all of a sudden, when I ask for his name, so that I can properly document the call, he says that his name is Robin, like the bird. Spy breach isn't fun and games. It's an annihilation of the Constitution. So they're mocking me suing. FCC violations. It's Hoda and Jenna show mocking FCC violations. Why do we need this cable? This is Tina Makua. Good Day Sacramento. So they can fix it. Wow. Mocking, spying on me. Shiny light. There is the spy breach satellite of the media whores of Good Day Sacramento. Spying on me. Yep, as they always do, illegally. And what is that about ripping and cell towers causing cancer? Is that like their divergent attention of the criminal global movement gained me from terrorizing me for more than a decade? And the use of ELF mind control and radiation towers and FCC TV satellite spy breach and MK Ultra used to violate me? Exactly. That video is better seen at my Instagram page. At Tanya, Tanya .ce1 and or Tanya TanyagR.ace1. Get your frequency flyers and your spying and your ELF radiation towers. Yeah, let's get that installed. All the things you love, including spine. Really? Does everybody want to be spied on from these damn towers right here? Because that's what they do. They violate people's human rights to privacy. Amendment 14. Remember that one? We are living in perilous times where privacy rights, human rights violations, and the Constitution are being traded for a corrupt agenda code, illegal spy breach, MK Ultra, a program that was used during World War II that has been sophisticated during the years to violate human rights. FCC TV satellite spy breach, ELF mind control, and radiation towers, extremely low and extremely high frequency cell towers from phones that exude radiation causing cancer and violate human privacy rights and mind control, and frequency flyers violating human rights and mind control. These towers can kill anybody within a 40-mile radius, and they are on every block in every city, in every town in the United States. And yet, this is the American way. Because Americans have the right to have access to a phone that allows them to both make phone calls. In the day and age that we are living in, it is important to have your phone with you everywhere you go. Not only as an emergency, but also to access information. And because of that luxury that has now become mainstream necessity, people are subject to the frequencies and radiation that are causing a health and safety crisis. And the violations from broadcasting systems from television and FCC TV satellite spy breach. That is not democracy. Violating the Constitution is not a democracy. Violating the Constitution is annihilating the Constitution, is declaring war.
On your laptop. What's that? It's like, I don't know, it's made of a material where you can't send frequencies out to whatever.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
So earlier we were kind of talking about different things they can actually do with the phone and send out signals to even manipulate the human body. Can you talk a little bit about this?
Yeah, frequencies demonstrated that they can have an effect, good or bad, on the individual's psychology, the brainwaves. Malware, as this is hyper-evolving, this space, nation-state, advanced persistent threats, the Russian actor, the Chinese, sometimes an organization from the inside. You want there to be disunity. You're trying to, from a psychological warfare perspective, you're trying to do reputational harm to the individual, make it seem like this other person is saying this about them. You know what I mean? You kind of like influence operations, information warfare. But this is more psychological warfare, so it's a little different. So this particular payload is just code, okay? So as part of the payload, maybe it's just a frequency that emits from the computer where you can't hear it, but it has a physical effect. Migraines, vomiting, aggressive behavior. It surprises me that nobody's really talking about this.
Yeah.
Because this is the next generation of nation-state cyber warfare.
Yeah, so I was going to say too. I mean, like, for example, so yeah, I think the most fascinating part, like, just kind of going back to what you're talking about, like, they can just manipulate part of the human body to make it do stuff. So yeah, I think the most fascinating.
What DARPA is experimenting with.
Yeah.
What they're doing in Israel with their science. It's this stuff. It's funny. I mean, I take it for granted because I'm around this metadata, like the combination, the variation, and the number of actors that are in this space. And the thing is, Cambridge Analytica was the least sophisticated.
If you're wondering, why would somebody want to mess with her? Because I'm a lawful whistleblower, and I'm a survivor of violent crimes. I'm a survivor of rape, incest rape, NFL abuse from my ex-retired NFL Raider Lester Hayes, and Davis, California police brutality for risking my life for my other ex-boyfriend whom is African American, and I am multiracial. I'm multiracial DNA and Jewish DNA. And I have endured more than 12 years of being treated like a refugee in my own country, being blacklisted, conspiracized against, denied housing, denied advocacy, denied justice and due process. I studied law before I was brutalized from police and was getting ready to go to law school. And I am a pro se litigant of numerous civil rights lawsuits ongoing. Recently I had a judge magistrate, Maria Elena James, order that I receive an ADR settlement for my case that went to the Ninth Circuit in San Francisco, 18-17440, and now will be going to the Supreme Court. She issued this order on my birthday and then sent my case abruptly to Oakland, and then Oakland sent my case to Sacramento, where they had declared me vexatious and also declared martial law from a magistrate, Clare, who stated cops have no obligation to protect and serve. Williams versus California, a law that was made to protect cops who refuse to protect children during gun school shootings. Williams versus California is the same law that was used to deny my civil rights and color of law lawsuits against the Davis, California police. Lawsuit 213 CV 2653. Declaring martial law is declaring war. This is my abusive ex, retired NFL Raider Lester Hayes. And this is me.
Abusive to me, and you were a part of all these conspiracies.
I can't hear you.
Of course you can.
What?
Why don't you go get your miracle ear, and then you can go hear me?
But see, ma'am, it was love making. We made love what, twice?
I don't recall you hitting me in the head and telling me to shut up. Love making.
No, I made love to you twice.
You know what? Listen, you hit.
Yeah, he hit me. Nearly broke my leg. He was very abusive to me on a particular time when I went to go see him and meet him. And you know, I had dated Lester Hayes for a year before I was sexually intimate with him. And in between that year, I had paused dating him and got involved with somebody else whom I ended up risking my life for during police brutality after reporting Davis police felon family, whom were my neighbors. So they retaliated against me from racially profiling my black ex-boyfriend at that time. After I was brutalized, I resumed a relationship with Lester Hayes. And so, of course, he knew about all these violent things that had happened to me, and that I had been raped in my apartment 2 years before, and then recently brutalized from cops. He was aware of these things. And I remember him telling me on a particular luncheon that we went to, he had asked me how I felt about conspiracies. And he started talking about all these different celebrities that, were involved in conspiracies, like John Lennon and JFK and Martin Luther King Jr. and started making all these different references to conspiracies. I honestly had no idea at that time that what he was trying to say to me or really get at was to see if I was aware. And that they were violating me for a long time. And this was the Illuminati, government, media, celebrities' way to elaborate upon New World Order, was to create a game of movements where society could team up and they would violate this person using scientific methods of sorcery to tap my brain, put voodoo on me, lie about me, and have the world run after my dreams as a punishment, a retaliation, and to also divert attention to their order, which is to annihilate the Constitution and to make the new way, the new law, a law that doesn't have anything to do with the Constitution, but everything to do with code. Socialist groups and corrupt agenda code based on voodoo, trading the Constitution laws, rule of law, letter of law, for voodoo. So if somebody says something that is code on the media, society would rather believe that than believe truth and the principles of the Constitution that have stabilized the United States in humanity and order and completely disrupt that for what is now this new age that is led from a new world order that states that there is no justice and liberty for all. A new world order under voodoo, under MK Ultra, under mind control slavery, under violations of human rights and torment and hate crimes.
Petitions for writs of certiorari, roughly, so only about 1% of the petitions for certiorari filed at our court are accepted. So that means that's about 80 out of the 8,000 or so that are submitted. I just don't know what the statistics for applications are. I don't think we track them as closely as we do for petitions.
Wow. So only 1% are accepted in your Supreme Court.
That's correct. Yes, ma'am. That's correct.
Wow. How does anybody get due process in this?
Well, according to the laws passed by Congress, the court has discretion to examine cases and decide that the ruling of the lower court is valid, and it's not a ruling that is a result of a circuit split or a conflict in federal law,
well,
or something like that.
Recently I was sent something that said that I was a vexatious litigant, and a vexatious litigant is somebody that files non-merited lawsuits for 7 years or more, and I've only been filing lawsuits since 2013 in the Sacramento Federal Court and the Ninth Circuit.
I don't have anything to do with that, ma'am. I'm sorry.
Right. I'm just telling you that
Sure.
that they've already labeled me vexatious. So, they're obstructing my justice and violating
ma'am,
my rights.
I'm sorry to hear that, but again, there's really nothing that I'm in a position to do about it.
Well, the courts are going to be shut down. I mean, once people realize how corrupt they are and that they don't allow due process
No, ma'am,
for people.
This is completely normal and consistent with federal law.
No, it's not normal. It's not normal to violate the laws and to
No laws are being
justice.
violated. Actually, this is completely consistent with
not.
federal laws.
No, Amendment 14.
I would refer you to the Judiciary Act of
Amendment
1925,
14
which
says
the
that due process of law.
Petitions based on certiorari.
Right, due process of law.
That is federal law, and it's still on the statute book. So if you disagree with it, then you have to call your representatives in Congress. But we can't do anything about it here.
Yeah.
So again,
well, people are not going to want to fund. They're not going to want to fund.
Mr. Barnes, I'm happy to put you through to him.
Yeah, they're not going to want to fund.
Whichever you prefer.
They're not going to want to fund these court systems anymore when they violate their rights to justice and due process.
Okay, ma'am, is there anything else I can help you with today?
No, I'm just saying, I'm documenting this call for my Docu-series because...
Okay, ma'am. If you're recording this call, then you violated a federal law, and we can send the FBI to arrest you.
No, I'm just documenting the call because I want...
Does that mean that you are recording it?
No.
Okay, good. So again, ma'am, if you'd like, I'm happy...
Normally I wouldn't say something like that, but in a case where my due process is being completely obstructed, I kind of had to record him and really don't give a fucking shit what he has to say about the feds because he's out of order. In addition to the corruption of the lawless global movement and the teaming from using me and violating my rights, numerous NorCal, as they say, minions from UC Davis, such as Hassan Minaj, Cam Country, Dixon's John Party, and Despacito writers, and writers for 24 Karat Magic with Bruno Mars in Sacramento, and Black Panther director Greta Gerwig, numerous film musicians, comedians, and Aggie sports have gone on to be pro ballers, have gone on to have celebrity status. Celebrity status that they're not qualified for. A lawless global movement flings open the doors for anybody that wants to run, be runners, be gamers, be players, and shut their mouth about the corruption that they made against me to create a lawless global movement and violate my rights. And so they reward gamers. While my dreams have been placed on hold and my life has been at a pause, I keep fighting. Judge Kaczynski fired during a time when they decided to also divert attention, making a hashtag #MeToo movement. When a Ninth Circuit judge was fired right after he denied my civil rights lawsuits that include being a survivor of rape crimes, because he was committing sexual harassment crimes.
Because I know that he was like an assigned court judge to one of my cases, and that was denied there. And I know that he was fired for like misconduct for sexual abuse of women.
He wasn't fired. He resigned, but unfortunately, I don't have any more information about that.
Okay.
I only started working here maybe a couple years ago, so I don't know too much about a lot of stuff that's been going on here. I'm just a clerk in the docketing unit.
Oh, okay. So, but you do know about him. You know about his.
I know his name and I know what's been going on in the media. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. And it was like a hashtag #MeToo movement thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think it was a part of that, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, he denied my case obviously before he was fired or resigned because of those allegations.